Awesome. Welcome to eComFiles. We started this video podcast to help e-commerce store owners to be successful and reach financial independence, but most importantly, to build momentum and have an impact without burning out on the way. Today, we're going to cover in this podcast, we cover everything from marketing to operations and beyond. But today, we're going to continue our conversation on marketing strategy. How are you doing today, Sebastian?
Great. Welcome,
Awesome.
everybody.
Awesome. So last time we had a conversation, we were talking about why a marketing strategy, right?
Yes.
But we haven't talked about what a marketing strategy actually is.
Yeah.
What is a marketing strategy?
A really good question. Marketing strategy. Well, a marketing strategy really is there to get you from where you are to where you want to be. So it is kind of a roadmap. It is a roadmap that contains the steps you need to take to get there, which is, well, maybe a little bit fuzzy in explanation, but that really is what it is. And so you need to have a goal, and then you need to figure out how to make that goal happen. Very short definition, but that's what a marketing strategy is.
Okay, so a roadmap, that's much clearer. You know, I can see myself physically. I can pull up a map. I know I'm going from point A to point B, right? On a journey, right?
Yes.
How do you come up with that roadmap?
Yes. Well, that is a more interesting question. How do you come up with that roadmap? What I usually do, what we usually do when working with clients, and if you're interested, you can go over to eComFiles.com to book a call with us. When working with clients, what I like to do is look at, well, the first, I kind of mentioned that before, is what's your goal? Where do you want to be? What are you trying to achieve with this business? And I'm looking for a very specific goal. It's called a SMART goal. And probably going to have another session about what a SMART goal really is.
Yes.
But be specific. Don't be wishy-washy in your goal. Be specific, and sometimes it takes quite a while to have a conversation with a business owner to figure out what that goal actually is. Every business owner has an idea, but being able to formulate that in specific terms is not quite as trivial. So don't be surprised if it takes you quite a while to come up with that goal. That's step number one. Step number two is figuring out where you're at. So if your goal is to make $100,000 a month by the end of the year in revenue, then look at how much revenue are you currently making per month. And with that number, you have a gap. How big is that gap? Let's look at if that is realistic. And if we determine it is realistic, let's figure out the steps that we need to do to make it happen. So that is basically the frame, the starting point and the end point in your marketing strategy and your marketing roadmap. Now let's fill in the steps. To fill in the steps, I look at with a client together, what are the things you're currently doing? Like the first question is, how are you getting customers right now? There's usually some process. Customers don't randomly appear. And if they do, then you definitely need to work out a marketing strategy, because that is not a recipe for growth if your customers randomly appear. So customers learn about you one way or another. They become aware of you. When they become interested in what you're offering, then they check it out, and at some point they check out, they give you money. And so what is that progression? progression. What are the steps involved? Are there ads involved? Is there SEO involved? Do you have a blog about a related topic that then drives people over? Do you run an affiliate program that drives people to your e-commerce store? That are all possibilities, and I like to understand what you are currently doing. So it's really an assessment. It kind of belongs into the where you are at bucket, but it's going a little further than that. The other thing I like to look at is what have you done in the past? What worked particularly well? Can you maybe just repeat something you have done in the past to give you a quick win? And most often, if you look at, or if I look at the customer journey, there are many gaps, many places where potential customers enter this journey, we call it a funnel, enter the funnel, and then just drop out. And really, when you think about it, anytime we want a prospect to do something, the vast majority of the people that get there probably won't do it. It's just a given.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out ways to catch those people that drop out of the funnel and put them back in. And there are several techniques that you can employ to make that happen. One of the simplest one is just follow up. Hey, I noticed you did this. That probably means you wanted to do that, but you didn't. Just go here and continue your journey. If you think about the typical cart abandonment email, it's something like that. You probably have heard of that. And you can apply that at many places throughout the funnel, but there are other strategies. The idea is anytime you lose a prospect, let's figure out how to put them, or put a lot of them at least, back into the funnel. And with that, then we come up with a series of tactics. We talked about the difference between a strategy and tactics last time. Now it's time for tactics. So we come up with a series of small steps you can take to, to make it happen, to plug the holes in your funnel and to get more of those prospects that enter your funnel to then at the end, check out and give you money.
Wow. That is amazing. There's so many different elements, in it. I mean, as an e-commerce shop owner, a person is probably thinking, wow, how long does it take to create one of these roadmaps, just hearing how intricate some of the details are, how long does it normally take for an e-commerce owner to create a roadmap?
Well, the simple answer is forever. But don't let that discourage you. You cannot come up with a roadmap that is ready to go at the beginning. You come up with a roadmap that gets you moving in the right direction, and then you adjust on the way. You learn things, you adjust, you figure out that something that you thought was the winner isn't working at all, so you replace it. So it's a working document. But important is that you have a basic idea of the direction you want to go and a basic idea of where the problem spots are. The other thing that is very important, which is another episode altogether, is you need to measure. If you don't measure, you don't know what is working and what isn't.
That is correct. What you don't measure, you can't grow, right?
Yes, something like that.
That sounds like another episode. Well, Sebastian, this has been an amazing episode. For those of you guys, hopefully you got a lot of value from that. As we said before, we're about helping e-commerce shop owners, and those of you might be interested in, about learning more about, how you can improve your e-commerce shop, improve your efforts. And if this information is valuable to you, what we want you to do now is leave a comment, leave a question, leave it below in the chat. And if you want to see more content like this, like, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Have a wonderful day. Sebastian, any last words?
Yes, there's also a bell at the bottom. Click that bell and you will get notified. But
yes,
again,
awesome.
only if you liked what you saw.
Of course. And I'm sure they loved it. All right, guys. So this is me and Sebastian from eCom Live. See you guys again next time. Bye.
See you next time. Bye.